All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Monica, like this and like that. So much has been made, last week of the meeting of Donald Trump, and Kanye West. And, whether you support him or not, it was just rough to see somebody kind of really ranting that way. The hat that made him be Superman, I feel like Superman's going to be hard to be a bipolar Superman. Look up in the sky, down on the ground, up in the sky, down on the ground. It's going to be very difficult. And if Donald Trump actually believes that one guy typifies our experience like that, he doesn't know black people at all. We have a race of 43 million people. How could one person speak for a race that got Barack Obama and Flavor Flav? It's just not one voice can typify that. If Donald Trump thinks that the only way Kanye West is going to get Donald Trump more black votes is they give a ballot to every one of the voices in his head. But I will say this. Everybody's saying at least he's trying to do something. At least he's trying to do this. At least not one substantive conversation about all the things that that was on the agenda. Not one about prison reform or sentencing. It's difficult for Donald Trump to seriously have a conversation about prison reform when he's for stop and frisk and he consistently put judges in place that make that is the opposite of prison reform. That are going to give black and minority people lengthier sentences and send them to jail for longer times. So it is ridiculous to believe. And when people say, this is my basic problem. Why is it that you feel like taking pictures with black athletes, actors, rappers, and comedians is good for our community? What do you think why don't you just, instead of doing that, why don't you get a magician and just make the problems of the black community disappear? And what is this fixation about always bringing Chicago up and always talking about how we're going to fix Chicago? Even if I have news for you, even though Kanye West is from there, most black people do not live in Chicago. So fixing Chicago wouldn't help most black people. It is a symbol. You want to pretend like you're doing something. If you fix Chicago, that would not impact most black people's lives at all. It would be symbolic. It would make you look like you're doing something. Fixing the problems fixing the problems that plague Chicago would not help most black people. But fixing the problems that plague most black people would help Chicago. What did they say? A rising tide lifts all boats. If you fix the problems that plague most black people across this country, it would have an impact on Chicago. Chicago's not the most violent city. It's not the one with the highest unemployment. It is indicative of a lot of places where black people in urban communities live. And their problems are everyone's problem. And if you were serious about impacting black people's lives, if you were serious about doing things that were going to make lives better, that would put black people and younger black people on the path to success, you wouldn't fixate on just Chicago. Chicago is a symbol. If you want to fix the problems in the black community, you fix the black community's problems, and that will impact Chicago. And stop telling me Donald Trump can't be racist, because look at the black unemployment rate. It's the lowest it's ever been. He can't be racist. I would submit this. The unemployment rate during slavery was pretty low, and they were. If you want to do something, and you have the power to do it, Donald Trump clearly has the power to do it. If you want to change these things, if you're actually serious about doing the thing, talk to people who know what they're talking about. Talk to people who don't come there with multiple personalities and ran on. Talk to people who aren't just a football player who's sitting there smiling and halfway doesn't look like he remembers where he is. If you're serious about fixing the problems that impact black people, do not just fix Chicago. Fix the problems that impact black people, and that, in fact, it will affect Chicago. All right, that's a little note from the GED section. We got the Jazz Report coming up in 15 minutes. It's the D.L. Hughley Show.